Hello and welcome to Comsverse. This session is called A Teams Integrated Intercom, What is Possible? And it's presented by Geert van Hout. Geert, please take it away and have a wonderful session.
Thank you. Hello everyone, wherever you are, all over the world, from my home to the world. Oh, sounds great. So my session today is about intercoms and how we can integrate them with Teams. What are the possibilities? First of all, I would like to thank all the other sponsors. My company is HelloDoor, so we are one of the proud sponsors. And of course, also we thank the organization. They did a great job in organizing this event, and they plan to do it in real life again in March next year. So I hope we can meet there. So my name is Geert van Hout. I'm based in Belgium. I'm an ICT consultant in unified communication with experience last 10 years in from OCS over Link to Skype for Business and now Teams, a lot of voice related projects. And I'm the founder of HelloDoor. HelloDoor started about 4 years ago with a question from a hospital that went from a traditional PBX to Skype for Business at the time, and they had intercoms between departments, and they were connected to the PBX, but they were going to Skype, so they needed a solution on Skype, and they had some requirements. They wanted this solution to work with Skype for Business. They wanted video, and they also wanted to be able to answer the calls on their mobile because they were running around during their job. And lastly, they wanted to open the door remotely from their Teams client, or sorry, for the Skype for Business client. So all of this together was not found on the market, and that's when we started HelloDoor, and we made a solution for that. Our solutions we have today are Hello Regi, which is the name for our visitor registration system. So this is a system you can put at the entrance of your company or building, and people can register when they come into your office. They can leave all their information, and the unique thing is that we store all this information in your Teams environment. So that makes you are in control of all this data, and you can do reporting and take actions all on the data of visitors registering. Our next product is the intercom. We'll talk about that more into detail during the presentation. We have also a video doorbell, which has similar functionalities. And lastly, we have a virtual reception. This is a large screen device with an application that runs a welcome video, has some options to contact people, and some ways to display information. So the intercom, what do we want to avoid if people come into our company? We do not want that they are standing there and there's nobody sitting at the reception desk. That does not give a good impression. I always told me that you can only make a good first impression once. So if you have a customer or somebody want to come and work for your company and get a bad impression, that you should try to avoid that. So the second one is these old intercoms from the 60s or the 70s. If you are a modern company and you go with the digital transformation, maybe you should replace those old intercoms. And yeah, the third picture is about this little sign that says, well, you are welcome, but okay, just call us if you want to reach us. It can be practical, but it's not the best experience. So what are the functions we expect? We want a good visitor flow, a smooth experience as a visitor, so that we quickly get past the reception and can get to business. So the functions can be, we can, if you ring the intercom, the doorbell, to inform a receptionist that you have arrived, and these days they are more often than not sitting behind their desk anymore. They are can be in their office doing other work at the same time. They can be mobile and walking around, or they can these days be remote, so they can be at home or in another location. So that our intercom should be ready for that. It can be to reduce physical contact these days. So some people have intercoms to talk to delivery people and prefer that over physical contact. A direct video call can be made with a visited employee. So instead of having a reception function, you could build an intercom that if people arrive, they find the employee they are visiting directly and contact them directly. And also it should be possible in some cases to open the door remotely, so that within the call, wherever you take the call, that you have the possibility to open the door and let the visitor or the delivery guy in. So give access to the building can be a requirement. So why a Teams integrated intercom? Yeah, intercoms before were usually connected to the traditional PBX, as I told you in the story about Hello Door. So the visitor comes in and there is a desk phone that rings somewhere, or a group of desk phones. People are used to that, and then they migrate to Teams, and sometimes they think about it before, but usually during the migration they say, oh, and we also have this intercom which was connected to our PBX. What will we do with that? So maybe better to think about it up front and find a good solution. So why Teams integrated? Well, companies use Microsoft Teams internally for voice, video calls, meetings, so the people are used to the client. We think it's best to use the same tool when you are receiving visitors. Just to use the same client, that's already an advantage. Not you have to learn some new environment or use another client that you're not used to. But also Teams contact flow can be followed in that case. So if you have a receptionist who takes reception calls, but one day he or she is not working and forward all the calls to a colleague who will take care. Well, they only have to do this for their normal calls, and at the same time, the reception calls, the doorbell calls will also be forwarded. And yeah, call forwarding can also be used if they get a call from the door, but they want somebody else to open or get in touch with the visitor. They can just transfer the call to another Teams client. Teams clients can be used mobile, on PC, on Macs. All these platforms are available, and it's also possible to create groups for calling, and they can be reused for the reception at that moment. What are the actions, the interactions with Teams that we can expect from an intercom? Well, it can be a voice call, basic. It can be a video call. And what we also have is directory lookup, and this is to contact people directly in the company. So you can, in Hello Door, we have an example where you can show an address book. People can search in that. You see contact cards with pictures, and when you press the contact card, it starts a video call. So this can be done if there is no reception functionality in the organization, or as you see on the top right here, we can have a button, who are you visiting? That's the directory lookup, and you can have buttons going directly to people or a group of people for reception for deliveries. A bit more technical, I have an overview of the interfaces we have to talk to Skype for Business for that could be used for applications or devices. So I just wanted to compare Skype for Business with Teams. So in Skype for Business, we had a desktop client, a web client, but we also had UCMA, which was talking directly into the server, and this is not present in Teams, so this was a difference. In Skype for Business, we had the Web SDK, UCWA. We had Federation, that is still there in Teams, so we can talk to other companies or people with other installations. Skype for Business and Teams can be talk to each other via Federation. And we had the Client Development Kit, which is also not present in Teams at the moment. In Skype for Business, in the beginning, we had XMPP, which was an open protocol for chat, but in Skype for Business 2019, it's no longer there, and they're not not many vendors are supporting it these days. We had telephones with software, Skype for Business, and meeting room systems. So compared that to Teams, where we also have a desktop and a web client, we have direct routing for telephony. This is using the phone system. So that means if we use direct routing to connect our intercom, which we'll see further on, then people we are reaching and calling with via direct routing, they need phone system licenses. So that's an attention point. In Teams, we have the Graph API, which can do management tasks, but also take some actions, and a part of what we can do with the Teams desktop client can be done via applications with the Graph API. There is a communication API, but it's not providing all the functions that we would want. There are bots to interface with Teams. There is Federation. I mentioned on the slides the list of Federation and interrupt details, what connects to what in Federation in Teams. There are telephones. The telephones in Teams are running on Android, but the software is made by Microsoft and is not open. So that means that we cannot customize the software that is used on the phones. And there are meeting room systems. So why am I saying this? We build a video doorbell for Skype for Business, and we would like to do the same for Teams. But at this moment, the Teams client API is not available. So I had a session yesterday on virtual reception, and I showed this slide and asked people to vote on the user voice, where there is an item created. Please, Microsoft, give us a full Teams client API. And what happened yesterday evening, there was an announcement on the website by Microsoft Teams Engineering that this request is under review. So the request was already, I think, 9 or 10 months in the running. We had 1,000 and so many votes. And so now they pronounced it under review. So we hope something will be released there. And if you still want to vote, please do. We'd like to get up to 2,000 votes. That would be good. What are the technical options at the moment? So we can connect an analog or a SIP intercom to our direct routing SBC. So if you have your own direct routing equipment, then you could connect an analog intercom with an ATA box and then connect it to an SBC. And if you configure everything, it goes into Teams. You could use a hosted platform like we have, where a shared platform for connecting intercoms. You could use a Teams phone. I'll show an example of that. And there's also the integrated solution that I will show you. For devices, you have to take care if it's for inside use, like a reception area, a hallway, delivery door, so a parking lot entrance when it's not in the open weather, or you need an outdoor device. So that are two types of device you need to take care of. And we'll go over quickly these technical options that you have. So the first one is to use your own SBC, session border controller, like the one from Audio Codes, or you can use other ones also. They also have analog converters, and you can connect your analog doorbell to Teams like this. Of course, you have to put up a lot of equipment. You have to configure these gateways. You have to maintain them, and you are still stuck with an old analog intercom. So the question is it that what you want? But it's a possibility if you have all the equipment and you want to manage it yourself. A hosted platform is what we do. So there we have a standard intercom, and we configure a service in Azure which connects these intercoms to your Teams environment. It's a full package. We also have a cloud platform to manage these intercoms. If we have to do troubleshooting, we can take remote actions, and so there's no server component on your side. You just connect the intercom to the network, and it connects to our cloud service, and from there into your Teams environment. A Teams telephone. This was a blog that was recently published by MVP James Arbour, who said, why don't we use a Teams telephone at the reception? This is a possibility. Of course, you have to secure it properly, that there's no misuse. You have to put a standard phone at the reception with a little sign. And I don't know if it's the best experience for a visitor, if they feel really welcome with the solution, but for basic configurations, maybe you can use it. And then finally, we have our integrated intercom. So there, it is possible to have a custom layout. It's a Windows application that we run on a touchscreen device, and it's very easy to configure multiple buttons. So you can call, you have a button for a remote receptionist. You can call directly a department. You can call in smaller environments an employee directly if you put all their names and pictures on the screen. We also have the possibility to do a directory lookup, so you can search a user in the company and then press the contact card and start a Teams video call. We can even do a different layout during the day and at night. We have customers who during the day they put up a button to call to enter, but at nighttime there's also a security button shown, so if people feel unsafe they can press the security button. But they didn't want it up during the day because it was pressed by accident too many times, so that is possible. We also had a company that only shows the directory lookup outside office hours, so during the day there is a reception function and there is just a button to call the reception. But in the evening and in the weekends, you can do a directory lookup, find the person you want to visit or talk to, and start a video call there. Then the intercoms sometimes also require a remote unlock mechanism. So we have that built in our solutions. So we do that by there's a relay in the devices, and when you are in a call and you get a call from the door, from the intercom, you can either type a numeric code if it's a solution that is built on direct routing. This is mostly used, so you type a predefined code like *44 or 88 or 99 or whatever you pre-program, and then the intercom will see this and send a signal to the electric lock to open. With our full solution, we work with a chat command, so then in the Teams call you can chat a predefined command like open or open door, and then the IP relay or the relay is fired. The connected devices can be just a door. So you open the door with an electric lock and connect it to the relay. If there's an electric door lock, usually it's already instructed by the employee badge system. So people can come in with their badges, but the badges are not for visitors. So that's why an intercom relay can be connected in parallel. So they both can instruct the door to open. If it's an employee, uses badges and the door opens. If it's a visitor, makes a call. And if the receptionist or the person that accepts the call agrees, they can send the command to open the door. The same mechanism can also be used to open a parking barrier, so for a parking lot. And we also have a use case for a storage safe. So these days, when all these delivery guys come to your company, there are people who do not want physical contact too much. So what they did was they had a storage container with an electric lock, and a delivery person starts a call. He tells the receptionist what he's delivering, and then the door is opened and he can just leave it there. Or there was also a use case with people that needed to pick up stuff in a storage safe, so that could use the same mechanism. And then finally, what's next? If you have this intercom in place, there are other functionalities that we have with the virtual reception. I did another session about virtual reception, and yeah, maybe you can take a look at that at the recording if you want to see it. So there we integrate not only the functionality to video calls when there is a visitor, but also visitor registration, so that you register the people that come in and you can ask them information. Everything is stored in Teams. So that can be used. Virtual receptions are used in satellite offices to welcome visitors, main reception offloads, after hours receptions, and also when no physical contact is wanted, the virtual reception could welcome your visitors with a call. So that's my overview of what is possible for intercoms for Teams. So if you have any questions, please put them in the query chat, and otherwise there is also a breakout session where we can talk if you have a project or a discussion. And please also fill in the session survey with the link that is mentioned here.
Well,
are there any
sorry
questions?
about that. At this time, we don't have questions.
Okay.
However, if any of the attendees would like to talk with Geert following the session, you can find him in the session breakout area, which I'm going to link right now. And again, if you have a current question you'd like to ask, now is the time. We have just a couple minutes left. Let's see. All right. Well, thank you again, Geert. It was very nice to meet you and see you in person. Have a great breakout session, and thank you for being here.
Thank you very much. Bye.